Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to our Canva Live workshop today. We're absolutely thrilled to have you joining us. For those who don't know, Canva Live is the home of workshops and webinars for you, our Canva community. To find out about our upcoming events, just head to canva.com/events. This is where you'll find a range of interactive content designed to empower our community. I'm Clayton, the Go-to-Market Program Lead from Canva. Our team will be monitoring the chat and the Q&A panel and will do their best to answer any questions. If you have any questions, please type them in the Q&A panel. This will ensure answers don't get lost in the flow of the chat. We'll use the chat just for commenting or discussions. Today's session will also be recorded, and everyone who registered will receive a link to the recording. Welcome to our workshop on teaming up and collaborating in Canva. The aim of today's webinar is to give you ideas, tools and processes to improve your team's collaboration and communication using Canva for Teams, so you can work more efficiently across your team and keep everyone and every asset on brand. We'll be exploring the Canva for Teams product. Pro users can change their accounts into teams fast and easily. We have handbooks we'll be sharing during the session, so make sure you log into your Canva account and set it up alongside your Zoom window. We reached out to Canva experts Rachel and Nano to learn how designing with Canva for Teams can help businesses and teams of all sizes collaborate to build and scale their brands, engage audiences, and stand out with compelling content, all while bringing creativity and fun to daily work. I'll now hand over to Rachel and Nano to introduce themselves.
Hey, I am Rachel, a B2B design educator at Canva, and I create educational resources for all of our Canva for Teams users. I am super excited to be here today to show you some cool tips and tricks around setting up your team and inviting members for some killer collaboration sessions. Now over to Nano.
Hi, I'm Nano. I am a graphic designer on the design education team here at Canva. I help create resources for all our users to learn more about design and about how Canva can improve the way you and your team design.
Thanks, Rachel and Nano. We'll hear more from them very soon. Now, I wanted to kick things off with a powerful bit of data that shows why it's so important to improve collaboration and communication. The fact that you're here with us today tells me you already know, but it's nice when data has your back. Did you know 86% of people working in teams say inefficient collaboration and poor communication are the main barriers for creating better work? Let's dig into that a little bit deeper. That means exploring and testing new ways to collaborate and communicate has the potential to unlock your team's best work, and we think that's worth exploring. And with teams now often spread around the globe, more and more companies recognise the benefit of hybrid work models. It means people need to rely even more on technology to communicate and collaborate. And over the last couple of years, some or probably all of you have experienced how challenging that can be. So what's the key to better communication and truly great collaboration? Well, it's having the right tools and using them properly. And that's where Canva for Teams comes to the rescue. In fact, we know the tools you choose make a huge difference to your productivity and output. Teams that are inspired and satisfied with their collaboration tools are twice as productive. So it's probably no surprise that 72% of businesses are investing in new tools for virtual collaboration. And as you can see, if you're part of that 72%, it's important to make sure you adopt the right tools and know how best to use them. And that's exactly why we're here to help. We want to help you understand how Canva for Teams can solve so many of the challenges associated with collaborative work. So what exactly are we covering today? Well, in this webinar, we'll show you why Canva for Teams is such a great way to boost creativity and productivity, and how it facilitates better collaboration and communication. So today, you're going to learn why you should team up in Canva, how to strengthen and scale your brand, how to manage everything in one place, how to create your best work together, and how to plan and post to socials. Okay, so before we dive in, let's take a look at the short video showing what Canva for Teams has to offer.
Help your team make every impression count. With Canva for Teams, designing anything is easy. Canva for Teams helps you create and collaborate together in real time to achieve your goals. You'll also have access to over 100 million premium fonts, graphics, images, videos, audio, and more. Just drag and drop. Pretty intuitive, right? When you're working in a team, it's the ultimate tool for collaboration. Create together quickly, avoid design bottlenecks, and stay in sync. Make sure your team's designs stand out from the crowd while maintaining the same look and feel using brand kits. Wow, nice. Save time with tools that do the hard work for you, like Magic Resize and Background Remover. You can even produce, schedule, and publish social media content without ever leaving Canva. Once your team starts designing with Canva, they won't want to stop. Anywhere, anytime, on any device. Create your best work together with Canva for Teams.
Okay, so we've got lots to cover. Let's dive in with part 1. Why team up in Canva? Probably the most important question to answer when considering a new tool, and one you'll probably be asked if you need stakeholder buy-in or sign-off from finance. Setting up your Canva team is all about unlocking your team's creative power by simplifying your content creation workflows. Canva for Teams offers a centralized design space to collaborate, create, and edit designs and videos, access thousands of expert design templates, share feedback and assign tasks directly in the editor, present your ideas, upload directly to social media platforms, and store and organize your design files and content. Wow, that's a lot. You can even connect your cloud storage platforms too. Does that sound pretty dreamy? We think so. Now let's check in with Rachel, who will show you how Canva for Teams helps you work more efficiently, and share a story of how one very special business used Canva to streamline their workflows and boost their creative output.
So we caught up with the team at Skyscanner to learn how they implemented Canva across their team and what impact teaming up on Canva had on their design workflows. So I'm with Judson Cowan, who's joined us today to chat through a few questions. So thanks for joining us, Judson.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So for those who haven't heard of Skyscanner before, can you tell us a little bit about the company?
Yeah, of course. So Skyscanner is a travel meta search company. So the big joke for everyone that works at Skyscanner is we get asked if we can get people discounts on flights, and we can't because we don't actually sell tickets. We are a meta search company, which means we help to surface all of the different options from people from different providers so they can make the best informed decision about how they book flights primarily, but also hotels and car hire.
Amazing. I love Skyscanner. I actually use it all the time for my holidays. And can you tell us how Skyscanner actually came about starting to use Canva?
Yeah, of course. So in the end of 2019, we went through a major rebrand. We worked with a studio in London called Koto to elevate our brand to we had reached kind of world market status. It was time for us to step beyond our the brand that had gotten us there to what was going to get us to the next stage. So in order to do that, we had to roll out a significant amount of creative across all of our global markets. At the time, I think we had 36 managed markets, which meant thousands of pieces of creative that needed to be made in order to successfully launch this rebrand. So we looked into Canva because what it did was unblock the design team. So it enabled us to hand off assets to different members of the company that weren't in the design team to create their own assets, so to localize assets that we created for them quickly into their markets. In essence, we would not have been able to deliver the rebrand in any kind of timely fashion without the help of a tool like Canva.
Wow, that really is a mammoth of a project, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm interested to know what type of creative does your team mostly design for Skyscanner now?
So using Canva, it primarily is at the moment focused around two big areas. So like in the past, we've used it for all sorts of things, but right now where it really helps us is with our social media presence. So we work really closely in brand marketing, the team that I'm part of, with our in-house social team. And that means keeping up to date with all of these, you have to stay really engaged with travelers on social. And in order to do that, it means creating a lot of pieces of creative on an ongoing basis. And again, similar to the problem we had with the brand launch, our design team is limited. The number of designers we have in-house is roughly about 10 people. So trying to keep up with that monumentous task of creating all this stuff would be prohibitive to us. We use it to set up templates for the social team. So we, on a monthly basis, we'll get together and collaborate with them and figure out what they want to do within that month and give them things that they can then easily pick up and populate content into and ship out on a day-to-day basis to keep up with the drumbeat of social activity. And then the other half of it, where we have a lot of activity in the company, is in the internal comms team, which is really cool. So you get this like both internal and external use of a tool like Canva. The internal comms team have, hundreds of things they need to talk to, and there's a lot of communications that need to happen about things like share incentives or upcoming company updates or like parties, barbecues, that kind of thing. So in order to do that, we again set up templates and give members of the internal comms team access to Canva so that they can do that stuff without design needing to be a blocker, without us having to constantly say, "Oh, sorry, we can't help." We have a nice place to point people when we say, instead of saying, "Sorry, we can't help," we say, "Oh, you know what? We can help you help yourself. We can hand you access to this tool, and then you can go and make cool creative yourself that feels on brand and aligned to Skyscanner's values."
That's so interesting. And before you started using Canva for Teams, what did your design process look like?
That would have been, back in 2018, middle of 2019. So we operate very differently now than we did back then. But at the time, we were more of kind of like a service desk. So our design team was still kind of growing into what it has become today, which is more of like an internal agency model where we operate very autonomously. And it was more about like internal clients coming to us with requests for like creative for a variety of different, and that could come from anywhere. That could come from PR, that could come from social, like we talked about earlier. That could be our paid performance team that's looking for banner ads. Prioritization meant a lot of things got left behind. So in the same way I talked about earlier, not being able to deliver everything that the internal comms team always required and having to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, we can't support on this." We had the same thing with all of these internal clients that are trying to meet business goals. They're working towards specific metrics. They're like, each team has goals that they're trying to achieve. And when we tell them we can't help with something, it means that they're kind of dead in the water.
Yeah. So I guess before Canva, the design process wasn't super smooth, could you say?
It's more that it was more fragmented, and that there was less like centralized resource. Like there's a lot of people working in pockets elsewhere in the business, like people helping themselves. Like if we said no to something, it meant that people would either, not do it, or they would go away and do it themselves, which meant there was a lot of design happening without eyes on, or without any kind of input from design. And what Canva allowed us to do was to put some guidelines in place and give people access to a tool that allowed for the creation of on-brand assets without a designer like sitting on their shoulder. Because Canva, like for those who don't know, there are a lot of tools in Canva that allow you to put in place brand controls that ensure that you can't use colors that are outside the company's branding and fonts and things like that. So that was really helpful for us to like give everyone access to tools that allow them to create on-brand communications.
So on that note, how has Canva for Teams helped solve some of those challenges and I guess streamlined the design process for your team a bit more?
So I'll keep talking about brand controls because I love this part of Canva. So we actually, we adopted Canva before these came into place, and it was something that like we found would be really useful when they came. It was like this ray of light from heaven. That was exactly what we needed to solve the problem we were running into, which was people kind of straying away from brand. Because Canva is a very strong tool that can do a lot of things, but allowing companies like Skyscanner to put kind of guidelines or guide rails in place is extremely helpful. So it means that there's a modular nature to it. So you can decide what you do and don't control. And there's kind of two sides to it. So you can say, like these are the colors you can use. These are the fonts you can use. These are the templates you can use. And even within the templates, you can do things like lock elements so they cannot be moved, which means it becomes somewhat foolproof. So they can go in and they can replace the image and they can flow in their content and copy. And what they come away with is basically something that was designed by the design team, but that they were able to generate themselves. And that degree of control is a lifesaver, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. So how has Canva supported you to keep your whole team connected and motivated?
Well, so I'll go back and talk about the social team a little bit here, because that's a really nice collaboration. So previously, before we had access to Canva, they were kind of generating things themselves. It was lots of, depending on the social channel, it was just basically finding images, putting them live on social, and getting interaction from that, or trying to drive engagement using nice destination imagery. And now it's become more of a collaborative process. So on a monthly basis, we'll get together and have like a brainstorm with the social team to think about what's relevant in the society at the time. Are there any things happening in the news cycle that we want to like react to? Those kind of things. So it's just more of a collaborative process to decide how we proceed. And then we create these templates and hand them off to them. So it feels more like we're interacting with those teams in ways we would not have did we not have access to a tool like this.
Mm. And there are so many different design tools and platforms out there to use. In what ways does Canva stand out for you?
What I like about Canva is that it makes my life easier, my job easier, basically. Anything that it can do that lets me not have to worry about it as much. Like I can set Canva up, set people up for success, and step away confident that they're going to create things that feel aligned without me having to kind of look over their shoulder all the time, which is a huge breath of fresh air for me. Just the collaborative nature of it's really nice as well. We can bring our whole team in there. We can set them up with like folders of things where they kind of like collaborate, and you can see everything, and like the team role where you can observe what people are doing and kind of like get inspired by other people's designs and stuff. So there's a lot of like nice collaboration.
Well, that's all we have time for today. But thank you so much, Judson, for chatting with me today. It was really, really interesting to hear how you and your team use Canva for Teams. So, how do you go about setting up your team on Canva? Well, firstly, you'll either need to log in or sign up at canva.com. And once you've logged into your account, go ahead and click the gear icon to enter account settings. I'm now going to head over to the Billing and Plans tab, where I can create a new team. A few prompts will appear during the process, so follow those instructions, and before you know it, you will have your new team. If you're trying to join an existing team, owners and admins of that team can invite you via email, so make sure you accept the invite in order to be added to the team. If you don't already have a Canva account, that's completely fine. Just follow the prompts to create a new one. You'll then be part of your first team on Canva.
Thanks, Rachel. We love seeing how Canva helps businesses work more efficiently. And next up, let's take a closer look at how you can boost your team's creative output by working more efficiently in Canva.
Welcome to Canva. Here's how to create and share inspiring designs. On the left, you'll find everything you can add to your design. Choose from thousands of templates or start from scratch. To begin, just drag and drop a template to your page. The Elements tab has graphics, photos, videos, charts, and more. Upload photos or videos like this. Everything is customizable. Select the object you want to change, and a toolbar will appear above. Let's start with color. Select any element, then click the color tile. Choose any color you like, or pick a color from the design. Double-click to edit text. Then use the toolbar to change size, alignment, or spacing. Find the perfect font here. Let's add some animation magic. Click the page, open the Animate tab, and select your style. On the right, you can download, share to social media, and order professional prints. Sign up to save your design, collaborate with teammates, and so much more. Now, it's your turn.
So now you can see how easy it is to create content in Canva. But creating content as a team can present some challenges. While we all know teamwork makes the dream work, it can also nurture some nightmares, especially when it comes to keeping your creative consistent and on brand. We'd love to hear from you. What are the biggest challenges you face when managing your brand? In the chat, let us know what difficulties you've encountered when trying to stay on brand as a team. We hear you. We know brand management is a challenge when you have lots of team members creating content independently and to tight deadlines. So here are some common challenges we hear from our community. My team is creating off-brand content. Again, I can't find the most recent logo files and brand colors or fonts. And it's super challenging to keep up with design demands and keep design assets on brand. Canva has a super helpful tool to save your team a ton of time and ensure they design on-brand content every time. It's super easy to set up and even easier to use. Meet your new favorite tool, BrandKit. Next up, we're going to see how you can strengthen and scale your brand by keeping your assets on brand with BrandKit. Building a strong, authentic, and well-loved brand is hard, and sometimes maintaining it is even harder. The key to strengthening and growing your brand is to keep your creative assets on brand. Wow, so many brands. When you keep your content consistent, it has a profound effect on your customers' perception of your brand. Not only does it deepen their understanding of what your brand represents, it also helps build trust in your brand, which is a powerful and valuable thing. It'll come as no surprise that Canva for Teams makes this easy with BrandKit, brand controls, and templates. Your BrandKit can solve so many common branding challenges, especially when there are lots of cooks in the design kitchen. It's simple to set up and share your BrandKit with your team, and turning on specific brand controls guarantees that assets will stay on brand all the time. Designing templates for your team is another must-have when it comes to managing your brand, as they ensure your team are on brand the second they start designing. So, first things first, what is a brand kit? Well, it provides you and your team with a usable version of your brand style guide. It makes building a brand from scratch easy, and for established brands, ensures consistency by allowing you to save and preset your brand identity in Canva. Brand kit means you and your team can update any design or asset, so it's on brand with a single click. Here's Rachel to tell us more.
Yes, if you're asking yourself, how do I keep my creative assets on brand without creating design bottlenecks or by being a gatekeeper? The answer is Canva Brand Kits. Setting up your brand kit allows you to upload brand logos, color palettes, and fonts for your whole team to design with. Brand kits are really simple to set up, so let's dive in and create one for our brand, Homely. From your homepage, you'll see this brand tab within your side panel. Your brand tab is where you'll find all of your favorite branding tools, like your brand kit, brand templates, and for your team admins, you'll also see brand controls. So let's set up a brand kit for our team, Homely. Firstly, I'm going to upload our brand logos. I always recommend uploading logos as SVG files. SVG format allows you to manipulate the logo colors within the editor, which is especially useful if you want to have different color variations of your logo. Next up is brand colors. I'm actually going to set up 2 different color palettes for my brand, one for primary colors and one for secondary colors, just to make it a little bit easier for my team members. I'll go ahead and add my primary colors to my primary color palette. You can add your colors using hex codes, and a feature I particularly love is that you can now also add CMYK codes. So CMYK codes are really important if you ever plan on printing your designs. They ensure that the colors you're seeing on the screen match the colors you see on your printed design. Cool, well both of my color palettes are pretty much good to go, so let's now go ahead and add our brand fonts. Here I'm going to add a heading, subheading, and body font. If you can't find your brand font in the list, you also have the option to upload a custom font. And that's it. Now anyone in your team can access your brand logos, colors, and fonts directly within the editor and apply them to their design. We asked Nano to show us just how simple this is. So let's watch Nano work his magic as he transforms a Canva template into a branded masterpiece using our brand kit.
Hi, so to start with, let's search for a Canva presentation template from the library that I can adapt to suit our real estate brand, Homely. So let's search for a real estate presentation in 16:9 format. I'll choose modern and simple styles. This is a great looking template, but it's not really expressing our brand Homely, is it? However, by clicking styles, I can very easily transform this design to be on brand. First, I'll update the typeface and next the colors. Then I'll update the design. I'm also going to drag and drop our logo from the Logos tab to leave our mark on the template. And lastly, I'll change the stock imagery to suit our brand. I have some brand images saved in a folder ready to go. So I'll add the Folders tab to my side menu through the More menu. Now I can access all my saved images quickly and easily. It's that simple.
Now, there's only one thing I can think of that's better than a coffee in the morning, and that would be 2 coffees. While this might not be quite as exhilarating as 2 coffees, this new feature still gets our hearts racing. You can now set up multiple brand kits. Yup, this dreamy feature is perfect for agencies, freelancers, and those of you creating content for multiple clients, brands, or even managing multiple campaigns with a distinct aesthetic. In seconds, switch between brand kits within the editor, making it even easier to keep your designs and your team on brand. Okay, now back to our favorite brand tab. Well, it's my favorite anyways, but the new feature that is now available to all size teams is brand controls. Team admins have access to these built-in controls, which ensure that your team won't deviate from your brand when designing. You can turn on color and font controls that restrict members to only brand colors and fonts, and my favorite being design approvals. Design approval is a great one if you'd like to encourage members to gain approval of their designs before publishing. And if you'd like to adjust your members' design permissions even further, take a look at the Permissions tab within your account settings. Here you can control if your team can use Canva's content in their designs, how your team can publish designs within Canva, and how they bring content into Canva. Brand controls and permissions are a serious game changer for brand consistency and keeping every team asset on brand.
The third piece of the puzzle for brand consistency within your team is brand templates. Any design can be saved as a brand template for your team to reuse, which is a huge time saver and again really ensures that your team are producing designs that align with your brand guidelines. Now, we asked design expert Nano to share some design tips to help you create beautiful and bulletproof templates that will make it easier for your team to level up their visual communication. If you'd like to practice your Canva template skills along with us, we have a workbook for you. Simply scan the QR code or go to this link, which we'll also share in the chat. Now over to you, Nano, to share your tips for creating a range of unbreakable brand templates for your team.
Designing templates for your team is a great way to boost your team's productivity as they don't have to start a design from scratch, and it helps keep their work on brand. It's a great idea to create brand templates like company-wide presentations or business cards, as well as templates for particular projects or departments. Creating a library of designs the team can use saves us time by ensuring they have the right resources every time they need to create content. Here we are in the Canva editor. I'm going to use this presentation design I just rebranded in the previous demo to be consistent with our brand guidelines and make it a brand template, so it's accessible by my whole team. I've added a range of slides, so this template will have a slide to cater for any use cases. First, let's look at a few more design tips. On this slide, I want to move this text block and resize it. I can group the subheading and body text together to move them as one by pressing Group up here at the top right. Now I can move and resize these assets as one to fit the space. It's a good idea to group similar elements together to make it easier for your team to control and adjust the format of the template. Next, I'll press R to bring up a rectangle to place behind the text for better contrast and legibility. Then I'll add our logo as a design element for balance. I am now going to anchor my text. Anchoring your text avoids overlaps with other elements and changes the direction of the text flow when new text or line breaks are added. In this case, I'll anchor it so extra text fills out downwards. There are a few other elements that I think it'll be perfect for this team presentations template. The first being frames. Frames are great if you have visuals within your template but want to allow your team to alter them, to personalize the designs. Within the Elements tab, I'm going to scroll down to Frames and click View All. There are so many different frames to choose from. I'm going to narrow my search by using the plus key to refine my search. In this case, Frames plus Portrait will help me find what I'm looking for this design. I will stretch out the frame to fill out the space. Now, members can simply drag and drop new images into frames to give each design a new look. Other elements that are great for templates, specifically to help with data visualization, are graphs and tables. Tables and graphs can also be found within the Elements tab and can be updated with brand colors and fonts. This page requires a graph for a comparative analysis. From the Elements menu, I'll scroll down to find Charts and insert a simple bar graph. I'll resize it to fit, then click on the color tiles to update the graph to our brand colors, which appears here on the side menu. On this page, I would like to insert a table. Again, from the Elements tab, I'll scroll down until I see Tables, then click See All. I can customize the table settings by clicking on these three dots to bring up the Table Setting menu. I can change the number of columns, merge cells, insert colored backgrounds for cells, and change the table borders width and color. When team members use this template, they can easily add their own data and information to them. The final feature I would like to share with you is possibly the most important one when it comes down to template creation, and it's locking. Once you build the template of your dreams, lock down the parts of it that you don't want your team members changing. There is a few different locking options. There is partially locked, when elements like text or images can be edited and replaced, but not moved or deleted. I'll partially lock this image and the text. Then there is fully locked, when elements cannot be altered or deleted. I'm going to use this for our logos and background. And finally, unlocked, when elements have no restrictions. They can be edited, moved and deleted, like this heart graphic, which I will leave unlocked so it can be moved if the heading needs extra space. Awesome, so now it's time to share our template with your team. Within the Share tab, click More. From here, you have two options. You can either share a template link, so every time someone opens the link, a new version is opened. The other option is to save the design as a template for your team to access in your team template folder. By default, it will save to the Team's Templates folder where your entire team will be able to access it. This is great for company-wide templates. Otherwise, you can save the template to a folder you have created. By saving it this way, only those with folder access will be able to access the template. This is better for group or project-specific templates. I'll save this one as a team template. It gives me a warning that some elements are locked, which is fine as that's what we intended. I will click Publish Template. If I now click View Template, I can see where my template is saved in the Brand Templates folder. You can see templates have a special tag on them so you can know it's a template. Now, members can easily access the template whenever they need it.
Thanks, Nano. Here's a quick recap of some of the Canva shortcuts Nano mentioned. Get ready to screenshot them. T for text, C for circle, L for line, R for rectangle. So, what's next for making the most of Canva for Teams? Wave goodbye to unnecessary subscriptions and give a hello high five to having everything all in one place. Canva for Teams integrates with your daily tools and has everything you need to keep your creative assets, including external content, organized. Connect your social media channels to effortlessly plan, schedule, and share content with the world. Let's start by looking at how to keep everything organized. One of the unexpected benefits of setting up your team on Canva is better content management. It almost happens by default, and we're going to show you a few tips on how to really level up your content management. Instead of having files spread across different storage locations and content management systems, you can now import and store all your design files in Canva. Within your team folders, you can import PDFs, PowerPoints, SVGs, Illustrator files, and then sync them up with your Google Drive, Dropbox, and other cloud storage platforms. This will help your team stay organized and work more efficiently as all the files they need are in one location. There are two important revelations we have as designers, and the earlier we have them, the better. The first is, there's always more to learn. The fact that you're here with us tells me you've already realized that. Adopting a growth mindset and seeking new ideas and knowledge helps us become better designers. The second is good file management changes lives. Investing time in setting up and maintaining good practices with content management will save you countless hours in the future. Up next, you'll see how Canva can be your design content management system, how to set up folders and subfolders, and how to easily find your files when you need them. And if you don't like to nerd out on content management like me, just think what you can do with all the time you'll save by properly setting up your folders. Let's find out how to set up an efficient folder system so you can easily organize and store all your reusable assets, projects, and uploads in shareable folders that are accessible to your entire team on any device. Over to you, Rachel.
Yes, messy folders can slow down productivity tremendously, but the good news is it's really easy to stay organized if you take a few moments to set up a system that's simple for everyone to use. I'll show you a two-step process to help manage your content easily. Step 1 is to create a folder. So take your time to map out what folder structure will work for you and your team. Maybe you'll want a folder per department, or perhaps you have team members all around the world and you'd like to sort your content per location. You can even have up to 10 layers of subfolders. However your team may be organized, setting up your content management system from the beginning will really help your team stay organized in the long run. From Projects, click the Folder tab. Here you can create folders for yourself or folders to share with others. I'm going to call this folder HR, so my HR department can store all of their content in one place. Step 2 is to share your folder. So select who you'd like to have access to your new folder. You can add individual team members or your whole team. Now for Homely, we haven't invited all of our team members to Canva yet, so I'm going to grant edit and share access to admins of the team and view access to the whole team. Later on, I'll show you how these amazing things called groups work hand in hand with folders when sharing them with multiple people. Lastly, I have this option to send a notification about my folder, and we're done. We've created a folder. Now, if you ever need to adjust your folder settings, simply click Share within a folder. A little bonus tip I always like to share is starring folders. This little gem will add the folder to your side panel for quick access.
So rather than having multiple platforms to manage team designs and content, Canva allows you to manage it all in one place. One of the hidden gems of Canva is the ability to import PDFs and PowerPoints and edit them within Canva. This saves your team so much time when transferring content over to Canva. Now let's hear from Nano to show us how.
Often businesses are sent all different file types, which can make things really hard when you need to edit them and don't have the correct applications. In Canva, you can import all different file types and edit them within the editor. Here, I'm going to show you how you can quickly import a PDF to make some changes to it. For my desktop, I'm simply going to drag and drop a PDF file into Canva. You can even do this from the Canva homepage, but I like to drag files straight into a folder to keep them organized. So I've created a folder called Print Assets. I simply open the folder and drag the PDF of my billboard design into the folder. And now, it's as simple as just opening up the file in Canva. Canva automatically converts your files into editable Canva designs. From the editor, you can instantly change the text, images, graphics, and other elements that are present in your PDF file. You can even elevate your PDF-based designs into any creative asset. For example, I can take this design, click Resize, and turn it into a Facebook cover. I then adjust any elements to suit this size and can even add videos or animations, GIFs, or music. Or I can resize into printable cards, brochures, or in this case, a postcard to have on display in the office. You are not limited to how many times you can leverage and resize a design for different purposes. When you're ready to save your design, in the upper right corner of the editor, compress and download your work. Turn your custom designs into JPEG, PNG, SVG files, or in PDF again. Capture any animated elements and effects by ideally saving them in MP4 video or GIF.
We're so close to having your team fully set up in Canva. The next step is to assign and manage your team's permissions. With Canva, everyone can work as a team, so you can add as many team members as you like. With pay-as-you-grow pricing, growing with Canva is easy. As you invite people, you can assign them roles to manage access permissions. Here's Rachel to show us different roles and permissions available and what they mean.
Woohoo! Now it's time to invite your members to your amazing and super organized team you have created. So let's look at how we can invite members and the 3 different team roles you can assign them. You can add team members 2 ways. So one way is from the side panel here. And the second way is through your account settings under the People's tab. So here you can also explore the team members already in your team. There are 3 main roles you can assign team members, the most common being member. These are the perfect permissions for anyone who needs to create designs within the team. Members can design with your brand kit and brand templates or start from scratch. Members' access may differ from team to team as it depends what brand controls and permissions have been set up by the admin. Next is template designer. This role is ideal for designers, marketers, communication specialists, really anyone that may need to set up brand assets for your team. They have some additional permissions, like the ability to set up brand kits and publish brand templates, as well as scheduling social media posts using the content planner. The third role is administrator. This one is pretty self-explanatory. This role is for those who need to administer the team. Administrators have full access to brand tools, as well as the ability to manage team controls and settings. Administrators can add people to the team, change their permissions, and even remove team members. Now, there is a 4th role, but only one person in the team can have this title, and that's the owner. The team owner is the person who first created the team. Owners have access to everything previously mentioned, but with the added power of deleting the team. Now, remember before when I was talking about setting up your folders and I name-dropped groups? Well, now is a good time to set them up. So the Groups tab can be found just below People in Account Settings. When inviting members to larger teams, you may want to organise your team members into groups. So I'm going to go ahead and create a group for my HR team. So do you see where I'm going with this? Now that I have a group for all of my HR members, I can go ahead and grant that group access to my new HR folder. Groups are super handy when you need to share designs and folders with multiple people. I no longer have to search for each team member individually and perhaps even forget to grant people access. Instead, I can now invite whole groups. Similar to folders, you can create groups for locations, departments, campaigns. It's completely up to you. It's also a great idea to create a group for your admins so that you can easily grant them access to folders so they can help with folder management.
Okay, we're nearly there. It's time to move on to part 4, improving team collaboration. In this section, we'll explore how Canva for Teams supports collaboration, whether you're in the same office or working remotely across different time zones. The nature and context of teams has dramatically shifted over the last few years and continues to evolve. As remote and hybrid work become the new norm, it's becoming more important to unify your team and facilitate collaboration across time zones, different departments, and even brands. Canva helps improve teamwork by making real-time or asynchronous collaboration easy. You can share designs, post instantly visible feedback, tag your team members, assign tasks, respond with reactions and stickers, and resolve comments directly in Canva. Anytime, anywhere, on any device. Effective collaboration means you can leverage each team member's strengths to achieve success. A team working together can create much greater impact than a group of people working independently. And Canva for Teams makes collaboration easy. So how can we better use the tools we have to collaborate and communicate better? How can we make working together over a video call feel just as connected and seamless as being in the same room? And most importantly, how can we optimize for great collaborative design work? Whether you're running a brainstorming session, hosting a design retro, or creating your team's next pitch deck, in Canva, you can do it all in one place. Now, before I continue, I have a question for you all. On average, how many apps and digital tools do you think companies use to do their best work? This could be Google Docs, Figma, or even Canva. Pop your answers in the chat. Who guessed less than 20? Who guessed more than 30? Anyone guess more than 50, 60, 70? What about the staggering average of 88 apps? Wild, right? And 10% of surveyed companies are using up to 200 apps. Imagine the password management. Simply finding the right tool to use can be time-consuming, frustrating, and expensive. So in the next section, Rachel will show us how Canva helps facilitate better collaboration and why Canva is the one app to rule them all.
With Canva for Teams, multiple people can work on the same design at the same time and from anywhere in the world. Collaborating in Canva with your team gets everyone in sync and on the same page, perfect for brainstorming, reviewing content, and co-designing. Those slow rounds of feedback are now a relic of the past. In this instance, imagine I'm working on a progress report for Homely. I've worked on the content and would now like Nano, our designer, to review the design. Nano needs edit access to the design, so I'll add him to the design like this. Cool. Nano now has access to the design. I'm going to leave a comment for him so he knows what I need help with and tag him so he gets notified. Actually, I'm going to assign him as it's pretty urgent. There we go. I can see Nano has just jumped into the design. Man, that was quick. It's looking so much better already. Even if you're not on your computer, you can still use the design and collaboration features from anywhere on mobile. For instance, imagine I'm on my way home and I receive a notification on my phone that Nano has replied to my comment. Let's take a look. The changes look great. I'm now going to leave a sticker so he knows I'm happy with the changes. And resolve the comment now that the edits have been made. And there you have it, one app to make collaborative design work even easier.
You can download the Canva app for Apple and Android, sign into your Canva account, and access everything you need right there from your phone. And if you're like us and have some of your best ideas away from your desk, the Canva app is great for capturing ideas and jotting down some thought starters for your next brainstorming session. If you'd like to learn more about how to use Canva to effectively collaborate with your team, we have some learning resources in this handbook we've created for you to use after this session. You can go to this link to access the desktop version or scan the QR code to access the mobile version. Now, for most creative teams, there's no shortage of great ideas. Often the challenge is capturing them so you can then filter out the good from the great and start refining them. And brainstorm and whiteboard sessions are the most efficient way to capture, cull, and refine great ideas. A bonus feature I'd love to share with you is that you can expand any presentation slide into a whiteboard. Canva has digital whiteboards and brainstorming templates to make it easier to run workshops and help you effortlessly brainstorm ideas and capture them without interrupting or breaking the creative workflow. For example, imagine I'm running a brainstorming session with my team around defining a particular problem we're working on. I've chosen to use this problem statement brainstorming template. First, you can share the presentation with your team by adding their names in or by making it a public doc and sending them the link. Team members can grab one of these sticky notes and copy it by holding down the Option or Alt key and dragging it to the column they need. Then, all they need to do is just double-click on the text to add their thoughts. You can ask questions by selecting the sticky note and adding a comment. You can access these from the floating toolbar. You can see someone has left a comment because there's a little icon next to the element with either their initials or photo, depending on how you've set up your account. As you can see, it's starting to fill up pretty quickly. If you run out of room, simply right-click on the document background and select Expand to Whiteboard. You can also click on the three dots and thumbnails, and you'll see the option there as well. Now you have all the space you could ever hope for. To navigate your new space, simply pinch to zoom in and out and scroll to move around the whiteboard. You can also easily see where your teammates are and the magic they're creating with real-time mouse pointers. Expand to Whiteboard is a great feature that makes sure you never run out of space for you and your team's great ideas. It's just another way Canva for Teams makes it easier for your team to create your best work together. Oh, I'm getting a bit sad. It's time for our final chapter, Part 5, How to Plan and Schedule Your Content. Canva makes creating social media content quick and easy. You can now create, edit, and upload videos, photographs, static designs, and animated designs to social media platforms directly from the Canva editor. Better yet, admins and template designers can use the content planner available to pro and teams designers to schedule social media content. First things first, you'll need to connect your social media accounts to Canva. So there are a couple of ways to do this. One way is through the editor from the Share tab, or you can access the content planner through the home page. When scheduling a post, you'll see a prompt to connect your social media account. If you're connecting your Instagram account, you will need to do this on mobile and ensure it's set up as a business account. We'll share more details on how to do this in your handbook. Question time. When you're scrolling through your feed, what makes you stop the scroll? Let us know in the chat. And while you're typing, I have an interesting fact for you. Did you know that the human brain processes images 60,000 times faster than text, and 90% of information transmitted to the brain is visual? Visual content is also 40 times more likely to be shared and remembered. And for those of you that typed impressive visuals make you stop scrolling, you're spot on. Visual elements are so important. Let's learn more about designing and scheduling eye-catching social posts with Nano.
Okay, I'm going to show you how quick is it to create an Instagram post from a branded template from a real estate brand Homely. First, I'll navigate to my brand templates folder and choose this multi-page Instagram template. Since this is a branded template, our logo is already here and our colors and fonts are already on brand too. I can easily update the photos by popping a new image into the frame. On this page, I will add a video in the frame from Canva's stock library. Then bring this hard element forward to sit on top of the design. Every team has different brand controls, and access to Canva stock may be limited to your company's approved image library. However, you can also add your own images. Next, I'll add some transitions between the pages. Now I can see all the different transitions available and preview what they will look like by hovering over them. I can adjust the duration to make it animate a little bit faster. For the second transition, I'll choose a circle wipe. I'll make a few final updates to the design and I am ready to share on our social channels. There are a few different ways to share your design on social media. One way is through the editor by clicking Share. Here, you'll have the option to share directly to socials or plan ahead and schedule the post. The other way is through the Content Planner. I really encourage you to jump into the Content Planner and play around with it. It is a great tool and a tool that's only available to Pro and Teams users. Within the Content Planner, you can plan post, edit or delete a scheduled post, view post insights like views and reactions, and share your planner with the team so everyone has full visibility of what's coming up on your social media channel. And to make this dreamy social media tool even better is the ability to add in Teams events within the calendar, which is super handy when you need to plan around important dates and really allows you to manage everything in one place.
Okay, it's nearly time to wrap this up. But before we go, we have some really helpful resources to share with you. And we've collated them all into one handy link, available through the QR code on each page. But don't worry about scanning every page. You only need to scan one of them to access all the resources I'm about to mention. For more free workshops like this, visit canva.com/events to see our schedule, with new events listed every month. You can find a wide range of resources for businesses and teams at canva.com/resources. And make sure to check out our series of videos on Canva for Teams to support your further learning, available in this playlist on our YouTube channel. Thanks again for joining the webinar today. We hope you feel inspired and empowered to use Canva to support innovation and creativity in your own projects. We hope to see you at another Canva Live webinar very soon. Bye for now.